You're listening to Charting the Future, a podcast for independent pediatricians by PCC. For more information about our software and services, please visit www.pcc.com or visit us on social media.
All right, welcome back, friends. I'm at the Georgia AAP show, the Pediatrics by the Sea. This is actually a really cool show to come to. The location is always interesting. And I'm here with Dr. Patrick Pulliam, who is actually more of a newer friend of mine, considering that I've interviewed some people I've known for 30 years for a bit. He is the incoming chapter president, no pressure. And he was graceful enough, or gracious rather, and graceful, to agree to sit down with me for a couple minutes. How are you, Dr. Pulliam?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, we're having a massive thunderstorm, which is kind of awesome. But that means I can't get to the beach.
Well, it was nice yesterday.
Yeah, it was beautiful yesterday.
I chose not to go to the beach yesterday, but
yesterday I did not go to the beach. I was working hard, people. Come on. So here's the first question I ask everybody. You ready?
Okay.
All right, and then we'll dig into you and your practice. Do you remember where and when we met?
Well, we met over and over again at multiple PMI conferences and NCE, and it's been probably CEO though before.
Yes,
that's actually started having conversations with each other.
That's my memory. You actually went and got us an HDMI cable.
Oh yeah,
that's right. That was my first engagement. I've been asked that question. Sometimes I don't know the answer. Sometimes I do know the answer. Some people have a different memory of it, and it's been interesting every time.
That would be the first CEO conference, I think.
That would be the first CEO conference. That's correct. I blend the women in peds and CEO, even though they're very different. They happen with the same people. Anyway, let's begin by you telling me briefly about your practice. Describe your practice, please.
I am a solo pediatrician in South Metro Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I have anywhere, depending on when you ask, 3 to 4 nurse practitioners, pediatric nurse practitioners, who are amazing.
They are.
And we're just doing our thing, trying to stay independent. And
well, how did you start your practice? How did it begin?
Oh, that's a long story.
That's why we're here.
Well, I had an academic career first.
Okay.
I was very happy with.
Yep.
In Philadelphia. Wasn't really happy living in Philadelphia. And for various reasons, we had to move back to Georgia.
Okay.
Joined a practice of great people.
Okay.
Some of whom I knew from medical school. My wife and I knew them well. And great pediatricians who business failed shortly after I got there.
Breaking my heart, of course, but
went bankrupt.
Oh, that actually takes some work to do it.
Well, I can go into the reasons why, but
probably no surprise.
I mean, I'd always sworn I would never look in, because I was an inpatient pediatrician teaching residents and students and stuff, and
you're hearing me
never looking ears all day long, that kind of thing. And,
yep.
But that's what I was doing. But I'm very thankful for the job, and I learned. I wasn't a partner. I was just there for a few months. I learned practice management on the fly.
Sometimes the most effective way.
And found out what the problems were, and increased revenue $250,000 per year in a few months.
Okay, good.
So they weren't bankrupt anymore.
You're just saying that to brown nose me, I think.
No. That's how I learned practice management, and then continue to fix more systemic problems for them and figure out what the problems were and that sort of thing.
Right. You are a systemic thinker.
I am a systems analyst,
right?
Strategist.
Yep. You back out
that together and
look at the big picture and say, how could this be smarter?
Yeah, I see the forest and the trees.
Right.
And
yep.
You have to know where you're going before you decide how to get there.
Right. I'm with you.
So, for various reasons, I wasn't quite in my hometown at this practice. I was commuting 40 minutes a day. We had 4 or 5 kids by this point, and soccer practices and soccer games and all that. They did create a little friction with the other pediatricians over this whole issue and stuff. So I decided to start my own practice in my hometown.
How long ago was that?
2004.
Hey, how's that feel?
It was a little scary.
Yeah. But now
it's great.
Okay.
I wouldn't trade it for anything.
All right. That's what I love to hear.
And I've gone from public school in my county to private school in Atlanta around 7th grade.
Yep.
And so I hadn't seen all these friends I hadn't seen for a long time.
Oh, so you went to your real hometown, like your home?
Right. Yeah, I lived in the house I grew up in.
Oh my God!
All my toys were in the basement for my kids to play with.
That's insane.
My tricycle, my bicycle.
My
Legos were there.
Well, that's the dream. Wow.
My books.
Wow.
So yeah, they played with all my stuff.
Okay.
All these people I knew in like elementary, middle school,
They were there.
showed up at my practice.
Oh, that's an interesting
And I hadn't seen them in
practice building method.
Yeah. One showed up in my driveway when I wasn't home and showed my wife their kid's belly button and said, "What do we do?"
And was she capable at that?
Yeah, she has an MD.
Oh, okay.
She stays at home. She doesn't practice, but yeah, she was capable. It was freaked her out a little bit. There were these people in my driveway. Why do they have a baby?
Wow.
Why they showing me their baby?
Yeah.
Patrick, where are you?
Just think,
Come home.
good thing you were a urologist.
This is true.
Wow. Okay. I did not know. So I lived 5 houses from my parents, so I know what that's like. It wasn't the plan, but it worked out. That's amazing. And so,
This is the first jazz song I ever learned, by the way.
all right. Oh, I don't know if the mic will
I
pick
don't
it up.
think Michael pick it up, and I can't tell you the name of it anymore.
So you play piano?
Hey, saxophone.
Oh, you play sax. Straight sax, barry, or what?
Straight.
Okay.
Alto. And
Yep.
some piano.
All right.
And pit orchestra, I'll do a little more. I'm not used to, but that was a lifetime ago. So
But do you still play?
I was in the Red Cup Marching Band at
Oh.
GA,
Yeah.
and they have a 400 or 500
Yeah, for real. That's a thing.
alumni band
Yeah.
that show up every year and they let us play.
Yeah.
So when I have a chance, I go.
Where the bar is low. They were low enough.
Yeah, it's great. So I started the practice.
Yep.
Was by myself for a while.
Yep.
Eventually hired a nurse practitioner, and
Yep.
then all the pediatricians left our hospital who were seeing newborns.
Just
They
at once, or
yes, because of Epic
oh, okay,
and Piedmont Healthcare took over the hospital,
okay,
and they told everyone they had to do baby friendly requirements.
yep,
And then pretty much all 25 sort of them left, and left us 5 or 6 of us. Anyway, we ended up with a contract to provide newborn care at the hospital,
okay.
and then the other 5 or 6 left, and it was really just me.
Wow.
So
So they wrote you a big fat check to stay.
yeah, they pay us every month to stay,
Okay.
pay us to take call, and we have to recruit all the newborns, and we get to bill for the newborns.
So you built the bridge straight to your front door.
So yes, and we were already doing lactation. I was already doing breastfeeding.
Okay.
And it just dovetailed nicely with that. And so I wrote all these books and handouts and beautiful folders to hand to new moms and stuff about our practice and about taking care of their baby. And
Yeah.
so now I have 4 or 5 nurse practitioners. And
Good for you. Do you think you
we've spent
could grow? Yeah.
we could. Finding enough with good staff to fit our culture is difficult sometimes.
Say. Sure is.
We moved once, and Georgia Medicaid said you're not a board certified pediatrician anymore. We won't pay you the enhanced rates anymore, and that was horrible.
Wait, well, I don't make the connection. You moved, and so then
For Medicaid, for the enhanced rates after the ACA thing and stuff, if you were new to Georgia, if you didn't attest at the right time, you were out of luck. I know doctors who failed to attest, and so they get paid the old rates. And then if you're new to Georgia, the program was over.
right.
And so when I moved across the street, I was new to Georgia. And
That's insane.
yeah.
But
I
though
went to
totally believable.
I went to my legislators and said, this is insane. And they actually fixed it.
Good for you.
Um,
And that's why you're the incoming president of the chapter.
But then we moved to a different building. Then we knocked out a wall, expanded to the rest of the building.
Okay.
And we're out of room now for exam rooms and stuff.
I mean, exam rooms, yeah.
10.
You're tight.
Yeah. Although we have a conference room, and we built a classroom for community
Do you own the building?
classes and stuff. No. So we did the Kids Plus Pediatrics kind of thing with the community room and that kind of thing.
I missed that practice.
I know. Don't get me started.
Yeah, don't get me started.
But anyway, we could turn that into a newborn area and that kind of
Okay.
thing. As we could move
So,
some offices somewhere else.
I'm just curious, how many newborns do you get a month?
Well, a lot of them follow up with that because they can't leave the hospital anymore until they have a identified source for make a AAP recommendation. And I get to make the rules now. So
All right.
we won't send you home until you have a doctor.
Okay.
And so a lot of them will come follow up with us and then pick a different doctor and stuff.
Okay.
But we must see 5 a day.
Whoa. How many of those do you keep?
Probably 2, 3.
Dang. And you're not, with 10 exam rooms. You need a second office.
Yeah. And we'll see them through college. So
Wow. Okay. And I think I now understand why you asked me about how to calculate the optimum panel size for a pediatrician. I don't. Now you just filled in a. That's kind of funny.
Well, actually, I'm trying to solve the workforce issue in Georgia.
Yeah, but by the way, okay, that's amazing. All right. In my experience, you seem to be someone who's willing to raise a hand and do something, which is something I always admire when I see the people who are willing to volunteer or serve. And so you are now incoming as what do you have? You got 2 weeks left?
2 weeks as vice president. Right?
2 weeks, and then you become president. I asked you this yesterday, and you gave me an answer I didn't expect. But
you want a different one today?
Sure. What are you hoping to achieve, or what do you predict for Georgia over the next 2 years? Nope. I mean,
What am I trying to change?
Yeah, let's start there. Yeah, what are you trying to change? If you could wave a magic wand, what would you change?
For the chapter or for the pediatrics in Georgia?
Pediatrics in Georgia first.
All right, here's the big picture.
All right.
I think that primary care in general and pediatrics in particular is in trouble.
Yeah.
I think that it hits Georgia a little later than some other states.
Okay.
I think that there were people raising the flags and warning signs now, including the AAP, which is the AAP's made a 180-degree turnaround.
I agree with you.
Are thinking that this is like the canary in the coal mine. And I think the canary in the coal mine was 10 years ago. And what's happening now is the chicken's coming home to roost.
Okay.
And if we don't change things fast and quickly and systemically, it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. And that's workforce issues, that the margin's completely gone in pediatrics. And so
I think that's regional.
Well,
I mean, but it doesn't matter what I think. You're here in Georgia. That's the.
I think in general it's difficult to stay independent and be profitable. I mean, my practice is profitable,
right.
but
it takes hustle. There are definitely some parts of the country where the systems have squished everything out, and that doesn't benefit anyone except for the systems.
Yeah, I think that's coming for most places, whether it's hospital systems or corporations or private equity.
Yep. It is coming from all sides, but what I tell you what I see, because I don't disagree with you. There are parts of this country, and certainly the urban areas, and Atlanta is a good example, but Boston, New York, Chicago, LA, San Francisco, you have to belong to a system. And that usually also means you're on Epic, whether you like it or not, none of which benefits the patients at all. And usually is pretty detrimental to the physicians. But what we're seeing is PCC, we had more solo startups in 2020, 21, 22 than we had in the first 15 years of this century.
That would be fantastic.
And so what I think is happening is so many of these people are getting in the systems and saying, oh, this is nonsense, and they leave. Now, I will tell you, if you're an EHR vendor, it's tricky because, and I know OP suffers with this, they have to, and who doesn't suffer is Epic and Athena and so forth. It turns our 10 doctor clients into 2 doctor clients, which is challenging because we have a 10 doctor client that sells to PE or sells to the hospital, and then a year later, 2 of them come out. And that's a rough business model. And so we find ourselves chasing that. And to be honest, if I could rewind 10 years, I would remodel our EHR to focus on high Medicaid, small practices, because there's an invisible army of them. And the problem is, though, that those practices require a lot of care and feeding. They're harder to do. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them. A practice your size with a owner who has his act together, that's easy. Like, it'd be easy to work with your practice. But a high volume practice that depends on making sure that they jump through exactly this hoop so they get their payment, and then they change the rules, and then their staff is all turned over, and it's expensive for everyone.
I hadn't really thought about it from the perspective of trading out 10 doctor practices for 2 doctor practices and stuff.
Yeah, but you don't get 5 2-doctor practices.
Right.
You get one or two doctor practices. But I say all that, The same thing happened 20, 25 years ago. This pendulum swings. We'll see what happens this time around.
I hope it swings.
No.
My big thing, and I hope our big thing, is that you don't have healthy children, which has to be the North Star
Yes.
of the academy or the org chapters or pediatricians, without healthy pediatricians, and adequate pediatricians.
So totally agree.
You can't.
It's impossible.
And the AAPs finally, actually, somebody at the AAP said this the other day in a meeting, and I don't know if they got it from me or not, but
What'd they say?
you can't have healthy
Oh,
children.
those exact words.
Yes.
That's
Without a healthy, adequate workforce and ecosystem. And, you mentioned people working for systems and leaving. People talk about burnout all the time, but it's not just burnout. It's moral distress and moral injury from when you lose agency and you lose autonomy.
the autonomy and independence is the thing that is at the root of burnout.
And so you can't, it's a, I don't know, cliche that you read all these medical student or resident applications, which I used to do, and I went into medicine. I want to go into medicine to help people,
Right.
but it's not true. Like the vast majority of people go into medicine,
I
generally
firmly
want
believe that.
to help people, especially primary or pediatrics.
Yeah, of course.
They want to help people.
No one became a pediatrician to make money. That's the dumbest.
Or they were dumb. They were misinformed.
Right. You should make money, and you should be able to make money, but that is not what motivates pediatricians. Never has.
So when you work for a system that puts business interests first and not your patients,
You are then working for someone else and not for the kids, and that erases the entire reason you spent all that time.
and that causes not burnout, that causes moral distress and moral injury.
Yeah. When I read the book Drive by, I think it's Daniel Pink, that hit home for me because he said there are three things.
Three things that they want.
Yeah, you know this because we've talked about it, but the purpose, you have massive purpose as a pediatrician. You have a mission every day when you get up. What purpose is better than taking care of kids? I mean, like
Saving lives.
Yeah, it's huge. Like
David Allen says, we're literally saving lives.
Yes, you're saving lives incrementally every day. I've always believed that. And then so it's independence, it's mastery. So I think as pediatricians, I mean, you're in a constant learning profession. You learned more between March 2020 and March 2021 than you had in the previous 5. Like you are constantly learning, improving, getting better. So you have two of the three things, and the thing that so many people are losing is the autonomy. And when I read the book, all of a sudden I'm like, that's the problem. You see how you can help the kids, but you're not allowed to do it
anymore.
You can't,
And you're part of a system now. You're complicit in it.
Right. Yes, you've contributed to the problem that you want to fix.
And they won't let you fix it.
Right. I agree with you. That is the heart of it. I back out a little bit further and I try to think, can you name a system or a collective of people that doesn't actually serve itself first? Because I was thinking about this. I'm like, okay, every university in the country, every hospital, the Boy Scouts, this hotel chain, they all, eventually a collection of people who serve a mission, eventually it gets large enough where the mission becomes primarily the viability of that organization. No, and so I don't think the people in the hospital are bad, but I think the hospital is sociopathic. Or tell me I'm wrong. The hospital doesn't have feelings. The people do.
Well, a lot of them are trying to survive.
Right.
The first book written on moral injury in healthcare, it's all these stories, and inevitably they involve the health system taking over a practice, or taking over a hospital and that kind of thing and stuff, and what happens. And the Gluckenflecken's talking about Seattle and Virginia now in the past few months. And what happened? She was somewhat critical of the hospitals, but the hospitals were suffering. A lot of hospitals, community hospitals, are struggling to loss of margin and struggling to survive. And some of their decisions are made just to survive.
I say this very naively, or at least I'm oversimplifying. I know that when I say this. But I know what it takes to run a pediatric practice, which it's admittedly as far removed from a hospital as anything can be in our space. But I look at it and like, you can have margin and you can pay people fairly and you can make the patients healthy. I see as you climb the ladder, like if you went from your practice to now it's 10 practices to now you're opening a children's hospital. I think the biggest problem is you end up, when you scale, you have to put so much stuff in the middle to scale. The management of the organization starts to override the thing it actually does.
And it's very expensive.
Right. And so I just think so many human endeavors aren't designed to scale.
Yeah, this is a bigger picture to that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you are in...
Other businesses suffer the same problem.
I think there are some things that can scale. I think of something like farming. Farming scales, but at cost that we don't see. We hide it. Healthcare scales, but the cost... A lot of the time, we don't see it until we're in it. I just think pediatricians are in the relationship business, and relationships don't scale. I don't think you can suddenly be more efficient in your relationships and suddenly see twice as many kids effectively. It just doesn't. And I almost feel like the way for the hospitals to survive is to put themselves out of business, break up into 10 pieces. Trim your stuff. I don't know how this would work. I'm just saying the hospitals get so big, but they can no longer make a good decision. There's no decision they can make that doesn't cut off its own foot. This is the right choice at this part of the body. It has to harm the other part of the body. I don't know.
I think they're doing it, though, for the same reasons that practices are doing it. As in the evil empires, the insurance companies have taken so much of the money, money out of the system.
At this point,
the hospital has to consolidate and grow. The hospital has to grow to survive.
Right.
Just like
they have to chase it. It's all healthcare inflation,
and they have to compete with the other ones for the market,
which is it doesn't improve anything.
They're trying to survive, so I feel for them, and it's the same reason that Sandy Chung and Christy Saucy, the people are forming super groups,
to protect, put up walls.
They're going to have layers of management now and layers of.
And it's not the same.
It's going to be difficult.
Well, Neil, the thing I think is, at the end, or whatever, not the end, but at some point, if the system collapses, pediatricians are one of the few specialties who will survive and thrive. And the reason being, very simply, do the math. I bet you can probably do it in your head. If you add up all the dollars that you generated for revenue last year and divide it by patients, it's like $50 a month. That's all that your patients pay you. Now they have insurance premiums that are $15,000-$20,000, right? Which is to your point. But you could convert to a cash business tomorrow. I mean, it'd take you a couple days, and you would live, and all of your kids would go to school, and you'd pay your mortgage. I don't think any of your surgeons can do that. Like, you know what I mean? The neurologist is in trouble.
They're dependent on other things.
So that's why I think you do all right. I will tell you that one thing that does scare me for our work is the decline of the birth rate.
Yes,
and
that's a concern.
As long as people are having babies, it's a growth business, and with the economy and some of the behavior that you see, I mean, and you know this, a lot of those kids are delaying having children. That I'm keeping my eye on that. Birth rates is a real thing. Yeah.
All over the world.
Yep.
And Georgia is a net influx state, so people are moving to Georgia.
Right.
So that helps a little bit.
Yeah, Vermont is not.
Okay.
Vermont is not.
Still, it's a concern.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of workforce research and workforce work, and child populations predicted to decrease in Georgia for the next 10, 15 years, and it's supposed to start going up again. But
well, what will be interesting is to see as the pediatric workforce declines. If Adam Smith had anything to say about it, the fewer pediatricians means your revenue should go up.
Should.
But right now it has not. Like, that's the part that I'm having a hard time. I know why it's happening, because it is the evil empires. But with fewer pediatricians, you should be more in demand, and they don't seem to care.
Theoretically, at some point, the insurance companies would have to increase payment to have pediatricians.
But they will do it
on their panels. But since pediatricians depend on them to survive, to get paid anything, it would be a difficult.
It will happen years too late
to break their contract.
I agree
with the insurers. Say, I'm going to leave your. That's why the pediatricians. No, doctors don't do it, right?
Yeah,
I'm going to leave in 30 days if you don't.
Not enough of them do it. I try to tell people to do it all the time.
I'm scared to do it.
You know what? This is something I learned from Lynn Kramer. Every year, you run a report, rank all your payers, and cut the bottom one. And the first time it's scary. By year 5, by year 5, by the way, the people you cut off, they're back because they come back with a deal that they never would have given you. But they need to feel. The insurance companies are sociopathic and they don't feel pain. So it doesn't matter what the right thing to do is. It doesn't matter how compelling your letter was. It doesn't matter how wrong they are or right you are. That doesn't pay the shareholder dividends. So they don't care. They don't care. I've never met anyone who cares. It doesn't. Anyway.
I'm generally not in favor of a lot of government regulation
Yep.
of things, except within certain bounds. It's necessary for some things. But they are sociopathic. They're not serving a social good.
No. And they don't contribute.
And
It's only parasitic.
so should somebody make that stop? I don't know.
Well, the question
Capitalistic system is
yeah. Well, let's be clear. Healthcare is not capitalistic. It's not, because proper capitalism requires transparency, and the people making decisions about their own healthcare, the patients, do not have any insight into the actual financial implications of what they're doing, and nobody has insight into what the payers are doing.
correct. That's true.
Anyway, boy, we could talk about this for too long. All right, so some other questions. As a pediatrician, we just highlighted a couple things that are making us anxious. Birth rate, our friends. What are you looking forward to, though? First as a pediatrician, then as chapter president. What are you looking forward to? What excites you?
Well, pediatrics is always advancing.
Mm-hmm.
There's always new challenges,
Yep.
like the effect of social media on kids.
Okay.
But then that's a chance to make a difference and educate parents and
Yep.
and develop those relationships. So I'm excited to keep doing that every day.
Okay.
I'm excited to help other people do it, whether it's my nurse practitioners
Yep.
or whether it's as chapter president that we empower pediatricians in the state to be able to do that.
Okay.
So that's exciting.
Okay. Good. That's good.
Make a difference in the life of a child and a family.
There's no better reason to get out of bed.
They can last generations and get paid to do it.
I think you have the world's best job.
So what excites me about chapter president is that helping pediatricians do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've worked really hard to develop a conceptual framework for the modern pediatric medical society and medical societies in general.
Okay.
Pediatrics in particular.
Okay.
In state chapters.
Okay.
Why they exist.
Right.
And what they do.
Some of which barely do.
And what's this value proposition right now? And what's the future of pediatrics and how does a chapter fit into that?
Okay.
Develop a conceptual framework for the chapter.
You can share this at some point?
Sure. Then taking that and then restructuring the chapter for impact in child health and in policy, but also in empowering pediatricians to thrive so that children thrive.
All right. Now I'm interested.
So,
when are you going to unveil this
I
officially?
can do this in my exam room or in my practice, but now I can do it
At a scale.
on a scale. Yeah.
Okay. That was a good answer.
So that really,
All right.
that really excites me.
All right. My last question. You ready?
No. No.
No, it's easy. If you could go back, well, it's not easy. Actually, this is the one that people struggle with.
I know the answer to this question.
Yeah.
I know. I've heard you ask it before.
Did you prepare?
No.
Okay.
I just know what my answer is.
So if you could go back and give yourself advice, what would it be?
I didn't network or unite with other pediatricians until very recently. And it's not really it's not what you know, it's who you know. Like you're trying to get ahead.
Yep.
But by the same token, I could have had so much more enriched and rewarding career and felt more supported and part of something. I had the national AAP, but I didn't have Georgia. Really.
Right.
Even the national AAP came a little later.
Mm-hmm.
But also the chance to learn and grow from other people and to be inspired by them. The pediatricians disagree on certain issues and that kind of thing and stuff, but I've not yet met anybody, if I disagree with them about something, who isn't doing it because they think it's best for children.
I agree with you.
They're so committed and so dedicated to doing what's best for children. And I could have used more of that early on, and I could have networked more and got to know more people. And
now you're doing it all the time.
And then hopefully contribute to that.
Yep.
And I've started teaching that to my young adult children.
Okay.
the importance of going to things and networking and knowing people in your field and
being in the room
beyond
is
just like continuing education.
yeah.
So I regret that I didn't have those years. That's exactly what I would do differently.
All right, that's a good answer. But you're doing it now.
I'm doing it now.
Yep, and it's not that painful.
No, it's not painful. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I just wish I'd known it earlier.
Right. I struggle to network, but yeah, I do it incessantly. It's hard. It's hard work for me, but it just happens.
Oh, I'm such an introvert. It's really hard work for me. But...
Yeah, well, we were talking about this yesterday, and who did I tell about it? Oh, I was telling Katrina about what's the title of the book that you read? I got it.
Me but better.
Me but better. I was like better than me. That was what I was. That's what I was like. No, that can't be it because that's bad grammar. Maybe, but anyway, yeah. So me but better, and just the concept of this is how I interpreted what you told me. The concept of basically having a game face, or and knowing what persona you're going to walk into in order to accomplish something in a space, and that's something I can identify with very much.
It's a skill, learning skills that enable you to do what you need to do.
No, I don't
in that environment.
Yeah, I don't ever worry about giving a talk because that's another person. Someone else holds all the anxiety about it, or if there is any, that is a persona.
Yeah, it is kind of like that. It is like it's somebody else almost.
Yeah, it's someone over there. When I give a talk, I can be outside myself and hear myself talking, and I'm listening to someone else. And so I judge what he's saying and give him some feedback about, well, you need to talk about this now. That is exactly how it happens. I totally split.
Huh. Interesting.
That sounds crazy, but that's the only way I could do it. Otherwise, I would be nervous. I'm not. Who wants to stand up in front of a group of people? Yeah, right. But anyway, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Good luck your next 2 years. You're going to revitalize AAP chapters all over the country, starting here. Gotta start somewhere. I'll give you the list of the states you need to go to.
Okay.
Oh my word, there's some that need some real help. It's amazing. All right.
Thank you for listening. More information can be found in our show notes. Production and editing by Chip Hart, Ali Squires, and Chris Forleo. Music by Challenger C. I'm Mark Herney.